Hey guys, David from Copper Pill here. Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. For those of you guys who follow me on this Instagram, thanks for watching, and to all you guys who never heard of me before, also thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Hopefully I have some more videos coming out here pretty soon. A lot of interesting reloading stuff and some experiences that I've had specifically with the SCAR itself, which is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be going over little basics about it, the specs, for those of you guys don't know, and then we're going to talk about how I set it up and how I successfully shot it out to 1,000 yards recently. Last weekend I went out with West Desert Shooter. His name's Logan, great guy. Showed me an awesome spot that he goes and shoots all the time, and we got it dialed in, and we were able to successfully hit a 14-inch gong 3 times, I believe, at 1,000 yards, which is pretty impressive for a rifle like this. So let's go ahead and get down to it, and we'll start talking about it. So for those of you who don't know, the SCAR 17, it's a 308 battle rifle. It's not a precision rifle. It's not like a, sharpshooter's rifle, so to speak. It was never intended for that purpose. And a lot of people will talk it up like it's this insanely great rifle. And it's good. It's really good. It's really good. I love it. And it's my favorite rifle to shoot. It is my baby. But I don't think it's the end-all, be-all gun. But it will do most things well, from what I've experienced myself. So let's start off with the basics about the rifle. It's a rifle chambered in 7.62 by 5.1, which is identical to 308, just a little bit lower pressure. You can shoot either round in it. It's not going to make a difference. Maybe higher velocities with 308. A little more recoil. I don't know. I've never really compared them side by side. Generally just shooting 7.62 by 5.1 military rounds and my own hand loads. It is a 16-inch barrel 308. And a lot of people will tell you that's, never go below 18 inches. And yeah, you do lose some velocity for sure. I know that the load I'm shooting out of it now, it's 175 grain tip match keying. I'm averaging 2,425 feet per second with that. And that's not too bad. I mean, that's, some of the heavier rounds, they just don't travel that fast. But with that load, I'm still getting decent velocity, and since it's a heavier bullet, it's going to maintain that velocity longer. It's a chrome line barrel, and you lose a little bit of accuracy there. It's not like, a stainless steel precision rifle, but it will last. Chrome line barrels, they have a really good life expectancy. 20 round mag, pretty standard stuff. The trigger, it's mediocre. It's nothing to write home about. It's really basic. It reminds me of like a standard mil-spec AR trigger, what you get on a mid-grade rifle. You can shoot it well if you get used to it, but it's not gonna help you get those half-inch groups that you want so bad. And this rifle may never give you that consistently anyways. It's just not, it was never designed to be a precision rifle. Like I said before, it's a battle rifle. It does that role very, very well. I don't know the weight of it offhand. I can't remember, but I would say it's somewhere in the ballpark of like 8 or 9 pounds. With the scope and the mount on there, it's a little bit more. But I mean, for what it is, it's fairly light. I think it's lighter than your typical M1A, which also shoots 308. Definitely a little bit lighter than the Garand, which is a much larger rifle anyways. But it still mitigates recoil really well. And that has a lot to do with the system. Like the bolt carrier group is, that's probably 30% of the weight right there. It's huge. It's pretty massive. In another video, I'll tear it all down and show it to you guys. But for now, we'll just talk about the basics. So I guess not much else to cover as far as that goes. We'll get into what I put on it. So I added just the scope, which is a Vortex Strike Eagle 3-18 by 44, and it's really nice. Actually, for the price I paid for it, I'm really surprised, and I'm impressed with it. I'm not like a scope professional or long range shooter that, I don't have really nice like Vortex HDs or anything like that to compare it to, but I have looked through a handful of them in shopping around, and I can say that this isn't so much worse that I wouldn't buy it. I mean, I couldn't tell the difference without having them side by side. You're not gonna notice difference, I think, until you get out past 600-700 yards. Anyways, so I would highly recommend it if you're looking for a good scope. It's under $500. I think the MSRP is like $499, so they're hitting the street about 450s. Even though I think I picked this up for 420 or 430 from B&H Photo. It's out of New York, and they had like one or two in stock, but I picked it up. And then the mount is an American Defense Manufacturing Recon SD, and I went with just the straight non cantilever mount, or cantilever. I'm sorry, cantilever mount. I felt like I didn't need it, especially with the rail going all the way across the top of the rifle. And there was no need. I can put this thing anywhere I want. Maybe if I was mounting on an AR, I would definitely throw a cantilever on there, but I can still swap it back and forth since my AR also has a full rail across the top too. So I imagine it'll work just fine on that. And you want something sturdy. You want to get a nice hefty mount. Don't go cheap when you're getting on a mount. The Scar does have a weird recoil impulse. There's a lot of talk about it ruining scopes online. I hadn't experienced that. I actually had this really cheap primary arms. It's a pack 2.5 little optic. It was only like $200, but it was on here. I had it on here for about 4 or 5 months, and I never had an issue. I actually even dropped it. It fell off my bench and fell directly onto the top of the mount, and it held up. So if it can handle a Scar, I mean, it's pretty good optic. But anyways, as far as the Scar killing optics, I haven't experienced that personally. I know there's a lot of talk about it online. I guess only time will tell with this scope. I've got less than 200 rounds through this rifle with that scope on there. Most of the rounds I put through it were out last weekend when I was shooting with West Desert Shooter, and I guess we'll just have to keep trying it. Maybe it'll break, maybe it won't. But it's Vortex, so they'll take it back and replace it. Worst case scenario. That's about all I've added to it. I did add the flash hider from Silencer Co. I don't know how dirty that thing is. It's nasty. But I put that on there so I could use my suppressor. I have a Spec Wars 762 suppressor from Silencer Co. And it works great on this. Actually, that brings up a good little story here. When I first got this rifle, it definitely had considerably more recoil than I was expecting, especially after reading anything I heard out online. How there's soft shooting 308. But I started doing some research, and I guess a lot of these come overgassed from the factory, and that definitely made sense. I threw the suppressor on there, and there's a suppressor setting on here. So right now it's at 12 o'clock. I don't know if you guys can see that really well. But you push it over there to like the 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, whatever that is. That's the suppress setting. It basically limits the amount of gas going into the bulk or the piston, and it shoots out the side. Even with that turned on, it was throwing the bolt back so hard that it would the next round and the mag would like fly out, and I had a couple jam up in there, and like they bent into like a U shape almost. I wish I had one with me right now to show. I saved one somewhere, but it would really mess that round up. So I couldn't even shoot this thing suppressed initially because it was just so overgassed. Did a little bit of research online, and I found a company called Parker Mountain Machine, and they make stainless steel gas control screws that go into the piston or into the gas block here right above the barrel, and they make some smaller sizes that really limit the gas going in both settings. So now it shoots great. I haven't had any issues with it. I think I've had maybe one failure to feed since I changed that, and that could have been magazine caused, or I don't know, it was just a fluke, who knows. It's actually on the video West Desert Shooter has of us shooting. If you watch that video, I'll link it in the below the video. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, it's been really reliable. That was the only major issue I've had so far. I know a lot of people will tell you it's the greatest rifle in the world, but I mean it's good. It's pretty good. So yeah, let's skip on over to the ammo portion. What I needed to load in order to get that accuracy required to shoot 2,000 yards. I feel the ammo probably play the biggest part besides the scope. The Scars tends to be picky with what it wants to be accurate with. And I've been working up loads for a long time. I finally found this load to be very accurate, and it was shooting sub MOA at 100 yards. It was 0.95, and I mean, you can't really get much better than that without, well, the time constraints I had, I didn't have time to do a whole lot more before the actual the 1,000-yard shoot, but it got me there, and it was successful. So let's go ahead and break that stuff out real quick. All right, so here is the components I used to produce the rounds that I shot out to 1,000 yards with. I started with Lapua cases. I felt that they were going to be the most consistent for what I needed. I didn't take them out and weigh them or compare them. I literally pulled like 50 out of the box and just went from there, and it worked out. Then I used CCI number 34 primers. They produce a higher velocity, but not quite as low a standard deviation as the Federal Gold Medal Match or Remington. But I felt that the higher velocity was a worthy trade. I wanted to keep those bullets going faster over a longer period, and it wasn't like the standard deviation was super high. I think it was the high teens or the low 20s. Nothing crazy good, but it was good enough to get me there and still be accurate. I mean, the grip on paper was exactly the same as the Federal Gold Medal Match, so I don't know how much difference it made at 1,000 yards. I mean, maybe I could have got those groups down a couple more inches with the Federal, but who knows? I didn't have anything out there to really say. The powder I chose was 4064 by IMR. I've had a lot of good luck with 308, or using this with 308. It's consistent. I mean, when I had a good load. Recently, I had standard deviations in the single digits, and that's really rare. There's only one other powder I really got that with, and that's Varget. This is consistently like that. Like, I mean, I've had a few actually that were in the single digits, so I'll take that. You know, that's definitely a good thing. Now, the bullet I used was the Sierra 175 grain tip Match Kings. Recently ordered a whole box of these from Brownells. I just didn't even bother, testing them out with small box. I was like, I was screwed. I'll get 500 of them, and not disappointed. These are great shooting rounds. I don't think I've had as an accurate of bullet as I had with these. Like, these were just far and above better than what I've been using previously. So there you have it. That's basically what I used. I mean, it didn't take much to. You didn't have to add much to the Scar to really get there. I think all really came down to the ammo. Just the tiny bit of skill that I have. Not a whole lot, but good enough. Anyways, stay posted. Subscribe. Like the video if you liked it. If you didn't, tell me it sucked. If you didn't see anything I can improve upon, maybe I'm talking too fast or quiet, let me know. Just leave a comment. And thanks for watching.